Good now, everybody, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show, the place I've got a frog in my throat and helpful answers to your crypto questions. Excuse me. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Helpful news, commentary, all that good stuff to help you understand what Web3 is, what blockchain is, why it might matter to you personally. Hey, Sonoran, welcome. Hey, Sonoran, thank you so much for turning me on to Crypto Snapshot. Can't believe I hadn't heard of it. I think it's an awesome resource. I saw a video by that the guy who created it, Crypto Tuna, and he just seems like such a friendly guy. And I love how simple and straightforward that website is. I think it might be maybe geared for like level 2 people in the sense that you already know what a Fibonacci is maybe and why it matters. But if you're somebody who is kind of in and you're just looking for a dashboard, an all-in-one helpful place for good information to accelerate your crypto journey, what a good site. I'm going to talk about it, I think, tomorrow in the Portfolio Principles class. And I commented on Crypto Tuna's video, but I look forward to getting to know him better because, seriously, awesome. So, much appreciated. If you're just joining us, welcome. If you're joining us again, welcome back. Tori, good to see you here. It was great chatting in the Situation Room last night. Alex sent us a text with some exciting news for the show, and everybody in the Situation Room was just freaking out, and I was having a great laugh. The best, easiest way to learn anything is to join a community, and it's honestly also the most fun way too, because then you get to have a good time with your friends when things are going well. So thanks for being a part of that, Tori. I hope everything's going well today. I'm glad you're here. I'm always glad you're here. Let me know what you guys are doing. Today is Thursday, so it's the last day of our show week, which means that today we are going to end the stream a little early. We're going to jump over into the Discord, and we are going to move to the event stage. We hopefully ironed the kinks out last week so that this time we can just more or less continue streaming uninterrupted. That's our hope. That's our goal. I got the soundboard at the ready. I'm going to bring out soundboard Alex. I'm going to try to make it a lot of fun for everybody who's there. It's just an easier way for the people who are part of our community to get focused attention for your questions. Build a little community, come on up to the stage, ask your question, share something cool, and then all of us can learn better together. And thank you for making the learning journey fun. If you have a crypto question, if you're curious about Bitcoin, if you want to understand what blockchain is and why it matters, then you're in the right place. Thank you for being here. My name is Evan. My co-host and colleague Alex is going to join us shortly. We work here in this industry, and we believe the most important, helpful thing anybody can do is tell a better story about what this stuff is. Like, really, what is it? And not talk too technically about it. In order for you to understand why it matters and how you can get involved. And I'm not just talking about like buying cryptocurrencies as an investment. I mean, get involved the same ways you might get involved as a cell phone user, downloading cool apps that make your life better. Because make no mistake, though the most notorious use case for crypto is currency, crypto will be so much more than currency. NFTs will be so much more than silly little monkey pictures. The way your smartphone does so much more than phone calls. And we want to help you understand that. We want to help you stay safe. We want to help you get excited. And whoever you are, wherever you're at in life, start using this stuff to make your life a little more enjoyable, a little better. And of course, all the free resources we have are available at the riseupmorningshow.com. And I do want to pitch it real quick before we get into it. We are starting live classes. This is not a free resource. This is a way for you to accelerate your learning journey and for us to scale our capacity to reach more people for free. The people who pay to join these courses, they're like 2-hour seminars. The base rate is $50, but you can get the course for as low as $20 and the recording for as little as $6. This is a way for us to like do focused attention for those people who are a little more serious and scale that to offer it cheaper and ultimately the rest of our platform for free to more people. So if that's something you believe in, if you want to support that mission, that's a way you can do it while also serving yourself, learning about crypto, not just in a setting like this where you got to keep typing your comments and hoping somebody sees it, hoping they understood what you meant. not being able to have a conversation back and forth. That's not the best way to learn. But that's what we built for you. And in the meantime, while you're looking for signups and all that stuff, jump in the community. That's the way to access the real wealth of information on this show. Will the courses be in bundles after a while? To start, no, because what we're doing is we're launching them live, and then the live courses will be sent as a recording to the people who participated or to the people who bought recordings, and then they'll be available for anyone to purchase forever, all the time. So eventually, over time, we will have this like wealth of curriculum built up so that anybody who wants like a bundled experience can go and do it. And maybe eventually we will bundle them. Right now, it's just we don't have the library built up. And then I think kind of the next step for us, or the intermediate step, is the membership. So the way to get the courses at the discount is to sign up for one of our Patreon memberships. And here's the catch. Like, Patreon allows us to give a trial feature. I would make it longer if I could, but right now everyone in our Discord has the premium trial. So for like 1.5 more months, everybody is getting all the discounts on those things. But you can get them now by signing up at our Patreon for the 7-day trial. Then go sign up for a class to try it or buy the recording on the cheap. And if you don't like it or all you want is the course, just cancel your membership. Like, I'm not going to be mad about it. We're not going to be mad about it. We want you to help us scale this stuff.
I will be furious.
Will is going to come to your house and flip a table on you. He is going to John Cena cage match you, like fly off the top rope. But honestly, that would be really entertaining for our whole community. So if you make Will mad, I would.
Would you? There's value there.
There's value there. Good question though, and that's a great idea. I think it would be awesome to bundle the courses eventually. Absolutely. But don't let that make you think they're not helpful or valuable. I think it's really a lot of value crammed into a very short amount of time. And that's the goal. Accelerate your learning journey. If you're maybe just dipping your toe, maybe the best step is jump in the Discord for now, keep watching the show, sign up for the newsletter, and then get in the conversation, and you'll start to understand which resources are best for you. Alex, Will, welcome. Tori says, I feel like I can smell his shampoo. Oh, I thought she was talking about Will because it was like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sorry guys, just had a late start to the day. I was Ubering back from my girlfriend's place, and I'm like very much so behind in my normal morning routine, and I hate being behind in my morning routine. So I'm flustered right now.
I understand.
There was smell-o-vision.
Yeah, I can feel the rain FX. Got that day glow in here, man.
Yeah. How you guys doing this morning?
Man, I'm good. I'm feeling good. I'm a little tired, but
all those low-calorie crumble replica cookies.
Dude, let me tell you what. I found this new channel, and the guy reminds me so much of Alex. But he is like, I said to Alex, he's like level 2 Alex, by which I meant it as a compliment to him. His mustache is bigger, his frame is larger, and his propensity for like no bullshit education is just turned up to 11. He's like aggressive about it in a friendly, helpful way. Doesn't tolerate scams, is big into like research-backed fitness evidence. He constantly picks on influencers who tell a terrible story, and makes great, like, you want to achieve your fitness goals, but you also want to eat a cookie the size of your face recipes. And I'm here to tell you, man, they're pretty great. I've made chocolate cookies that have like cheesecake topping, and I made some peanut butter chocolate chip ones last night. They're fire.
Well, with Nashiste in here, you now need to make hot dog flavored crumble cookies.
Hot dog flavored crumble cookies.
And then use it in Logadog.
Dude, I'm logging it. How about you guys? Alex, I know you had a little drink last night after your mini beef. But then you also had like a mini victory. I was teasing on the show that you're working on getting us some really cool guests.
Yes.
So way to go, you.
Yeah, I'll say
Slide in those DMs.
I was really manifesting yesterday, and the tweet that I put out was day 1 of manifesting epic guests. And I wrote Mert, Jesse Pollock, Zach XBT, Tolley, Paul Bettner, Brian Armstrong, Hester Pierce, and Gavin Wood. And I am excited to report that 2 of the people on that list we'll find out who are in the works. So that's very exciting.
Can't wait to have Gavin Day on.
Well, I swear. If I had $1.
Richard Hart and Charles Hoskinson were notably absent from that list.
So it's not a complete list. Richard Hart, I would not platform.
Of course not.
Charles, I would absolutely, in a heartbeat, love to talk to Charles.
We love,
Zero question. Yeah.
The thing with Charles, we've talked about this before. If we were going to have Charles on the show, I would really want to go to him and like see his compound and his Falcon and whatever else one does with Charles Hoskinson at his own place. Like,
we would put on muck boots and get in the.
Sorry. And I was just going to say, I would just show up to his house with like an N64, and I feel like he's an N64 guy, and I'd be like, let's become friends before I shit talk your project.
Before you kick me out, chasing me with a gun, yeah.
Mm.
Well, he does have a very large, very fancy helicopter. So first, I just give him a courtesy pre-flight. Let me check this thing out for you. Make sure your maintainer's not doing you dirty.
Yeah, that's
and then, fine. I'll find something wrong with it. There's something wrong with every helicopter on Earth.
I believe that.
That's the thing. Helicopters scare me. Also, guys, we're at a very important time of day for me that you guys get to witness for the first time, which is the filling. Oh no, it's hard to do this on camera. It's the filling of the small cup. Ah, yes. Good. Yes. Look at this. Ignore that. Yes.
Brilliant.
A true masterpiece. I was really worried when
content you guys get in these live morning shows on the Rise Up show.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get something a little too premium for TikTok for a second with the wet hair in the bathroom.
No.
I have pants on.
Will knows that you got to get the Patreon if you want to see that part of the morning routine.
Exactly. And if you want the members only stream, we're starting it in about 50 minutes. We're going to be in the Discord. I have got the soundboard primed and ready. I think we've got the event stage cooking. And you think by now that I would know on all our platforms. I always get little alerts. We just started using events.xyz. I wanted to try it out on Warpcast. We use the Discord events. And every morning at 7, I get a ping that says, your show is starting now. And some of you might too. But everybody knows the show doesn't start till at least 7:03, which is code for 7:05. So I got to adjust
the official start time. My morning routine is to wake up, start coffee, get a text from Evan that just says 7:03. And to react to it with some random emoji. Today was a coffee cup.
Yeah,
and
that was fancy, dude.
And that's it. That's my
so
morning.
While Will is getting to his desk, while we're all getting our coffee into our system, let us know what crypto questions you have. Brad, I saw your question. I'm going to honor you by asking it first. But if you've got a question, let me tell you, there's no such thing as a dumb question here. Whether you are somebody who's been around a while or you're somebody who's just hearing about Bitcoin for the first time and you're just really trying to understand it all, that's what this show is about. We want to give you the best helpful content. So I know you guys have stuff you probably want to discuss too, but let's do Brad a favor since he jumped right in and asked me first. What do you guys think about LCX? And maybe we can parlay this more broadly for folks who don't know. LCX is one of those, unless I'm thinking of the wrong token, that's the Liechtenstein one. That's an ISO 222 regulated cryptocurrency exchange. So maybe more broadly, we can parlay this into ISO 222 and wherever else that inspires you to go. I will start by just saying, of those tokens, I remember hearing about this a couple years ago, and it was the only one at that time that intrigued me because I do think there is a strong value proposition for crypto companies to become regulatory compliant and build tools for institutions who would otherwise have a lot of red tape to go through. You know, they need doorways to the blockchain too. I remember thinking LCX was at that time the only token of those that I thought was interesting. It's not for me personally as an investor because it kind of is helping someone I don't want to get a head start, get onto the blockchain. But I haven't really looked at it closely to see what they've been doing. And I don't know if my opinion has changed. So are you guys going to change my mind? What do you think about it, LCX?
You want to start, Alex? Or you want me to go?
Yeah, no, I don't have that much to say about it, so I'll knock mine out here. In general, I feel like the ISO projects rest on the ISO label and use that as a reason to not bring anything like worthwhile to the table. So the vibe that I've always gotten is that every single time I've seen an ISO project just like make the rounds, it's usually just in the theme of like taking advantage of people by telling them that like this one is definitely going to make it because of some sort of vague regulatory compliance standard. And then we never really go into the specific project itself very much. Because if I'm thinking about like who's on this list, right? Like it's a bunch of projects with no users and no real volume, and I don't know. I like LCX. I keep getting the question and I keep looking it up and I keep going like, oh yeah, okay, no, I'm not really into this. That doesn't mean it's not maybe going to have its day in the sun sometime. I'm just not a fan of the ISO narrative. I've never had a reason to be excited about the ISO narrative ever once.
Funny, I never even really thought of LCX as one of the ISO coins, because to me it's always just a centralized cryptocurrency exchange token. And I've always tell people always ask me, I go like, it's my favorite of the centralized cryptocurrency exchange tokens for this cycle, but I do not invest in centralized cryptocurrency exchange tokens. On a philosophical level, I disagree with them, and I don't support them. However, BNB when it first came out would have been a great investment, and BNB in Crow and a lot of these other centralized cryptocurrency exchange tokens can do very well. And so with LCX, I pretty much just viewed like, okay, is LCX's exchange in a position to grow? Yeah, from like a user standpoint of their exchange, that's what I'm talking about. Like, yes, like institutional investors are coming more so into crypto. LCX is made more so for institutional investors, but I have plenty of people in my comment section who tell me they just live in Europe and they're regular people and they use LCX. I'm like, oh, cool, great. They're like, yeah, I love the experience. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So like, it serves both communities. I don't know what the percentages are. And then with Binance in 2023 losing market share in Europe, it provided an opportunity for LCX to see more growth of people who use the platform. And if they use the platform, there's a financial incentive for them to get the LCX token to get cheaper fees. So it's like, cool. So if LCX gets more people to use their platform, there's more an incentive for people to buy more LCX. That's demand removing supply off the market, and the price of LCX should more easily go up because of that. That is and that's where the conversation ended for me. So I'm like, cool, LCX, small market cap, smaller exchange, has an opportunity to grow because BNB is getting pushed out. However, what we're seeing recently is Coinbase entering the European market more and more aggressively. So can LCX compete with Coinbase? Probably not. But the thing is LCX and Coinbase also have an interesting partnership. So they're kind of frenemies, if you will. I'm just not exactly sure how that partnership, where it starts and where it ends. Yeah? But there are a lot of those. So like that's what I always tell people. They're like, hey, that's my favorite of the centralized cryptocurrency exchange tokens, but I don't really pay them much attention because it's not something I invest in.
Yeah, I agree on all fronts.
Exchange tokens.
Here's a few numbers. So LCX as an exchange recently celebrated. Let's see. This is off of their blog, and the date. Okay, wait, hold on. I don't want to give you that number because it's very outdated. All right, I'm working on trying to figure out how many users LCX has.
How outdated was the number that you pulled up?
Well, the number was their blog post celebrating their 50,000th user, but it's from 2020, so it's been a minute.
That's been a little while.
But just for comparison, Binance as of 2022 had over 90 million registered users. Coinbase has 108 million verified users as of 2023. Kraken, just know that it's in the millions. KuCoin, 20 million, and those are the top four by user count.
Okay. Yeah, so it's still smaller numbers
Yeah.
for sure in the grand scheme of things. But that's one thing, though. It's like, it's the same kind of conversation where it's like, hey, if you get into a smaller market cap coin, you have an opportunity of growth. LCX is a smaller market share crypto exchange. They could experience a larger percentage of growth, which could flow into LCX, right? It's the same kind of thing. But then it's a little different, though, because in crypto, there's less of a monopolistic stranglehold on things, whereas in the world of business, with a company like Coinbase, with a backer like BlackRock, they're just going to beat everything down or buy them, So it's a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
Also, guys, in 4 minutes, I will let everybody know the CPI data.
That's what I was going to say. We have a request for CPI data, and it's really not something that's in my wheelhouse, but I had a suspicion that you'd be ready to give us an update. So stick around for 4 more minutes or 3 minutes in counting, and we'll give Will the floor and let him just riff on CPI data, which is Consumer Price Index for anybody who's playing along at home. This is going to potentially influence how the Fed, dictates interest rates. The crypto market could respond to it. But
it definitely will, unless it just meets expectations. No, meeting expectations would be pretty good. It's going to be interesting. Basically,
go ahead.
Basically, everyone is analysts. Analysts are predicting that inflation for the month of June is going to be at 3.1%. The month before, it was at 3.3%. And inflation's been coming down for the past 3 or 4 months in a row now, typically by just 0.1%. So it was 3.5, 3.4, 3.3. Yeah, it was 3 months in a row. And now now analysts are saying it's going to be a 0.2 percentage point to 3.1, which would be really, really good. One issue, though, is that in the month of June, the price of oil really went up. And gas is a big driver of inflation. And there are a bunch of other drivers of inflation in CPI. It's housing, it's transportation, which is a large category that carries a bunch of stuff. It's food items. Those are a lot of the biggest ones. So we have to see, with the price of oil coming up, did the price of other things go down enough to get us to a 3.1% inflation to meet expectations? And if we meet those expectations, the markets across the board should pump pretty damn hard, because it will be an increase in the monthly deceleration of inflation, which would be a really good thing. If we get 3.2%, it would be higher than expectations, but it would also be showing that we're still going down in inflation. And I'm not quite sure how markets would react to that. I think markets would just kind of be like, okay, whatever, like it's good, but it's not as good as we were hoping. So we'll see. We'll see in 1 minute. And the reason why we're paying so much attention to inflation is because if inflation is coming down, the Fed is more likely to lower interest rates, which makes it cheaper for people to borrow money. And if it's cheaper to borrow money, more money floods the global market, which means assets go up in value. That's why we're looking at inflation.
Now, before we get to it, though, because the report is going to come out in just a second, and I do want you to go over it, I want to speak specifically to, it looks like Tyler. I'm sorry I didn't scroll back to your username. And anybody else in the comments who says, oh my God, this is so much inside baseball. That guy's like, we'll teach you about cryptocurrency, but they know so much. They're really far ahead. Don't fret. Don't sweat. Thank you for calling us back to it. If you have a question or you don't know where to start, then I really do want to say this is the place for you. And I want to encourage you right now, tap my face or Will's face or Alex's face, or head to the riseupmorningshow.com. We've got a Discord server there. It's free to join. And that's like the place the show lives 24/7. It's probably the best way to get connected with us and send us a message where we'll see it. We're not going to try and sell you anything except maybe like a mug or now a live course, but we've got an ecosystem that you can plug into wherever you're at to accelerate your learning journey. A lot of people on TikTok, you've got to kind of get this information in bits and pieces, and it's not an ideal experience, but we're just regular guys. And you absolutely can learn this stuff too. And not all of it is going to be relevant to you. Not everyone's going to be a crypto nerd who has a morning show 4 days a week. But everybody can learn a little bit about this stuff to set themselves up for success in the future. So starting out, it can be hard to know where to begin or even what questions to ask. If you have a question, if you're uncertain about something, this is a great place to ask it. No one in the comments, no one on stage is going to make fun of you for not knowing. We all are learners on this journey together. So if that's you, let us know. Will, have we got some numbers? Have you made soup out of the ingredients? What's your conclusion?
Nothing yet. I am refreshing the official release from the United States CPI, and I have nothing yet. I'm going on Twitter. I see nothing yet at the moment.
Maybe it's like the Rise Up morning show where there's an intern there who's texting his boss and he's like 703.
833.
833. Converting DocX to PDF, like the uploading. He's got to do a CAPTCHA first or something. 2-factor authentication. Text me the code, dude. Can you say something different than tap my face? You're done. Do you understand what I mean, though? Tap to get to my profile. Don't. But if you do want to tap the space around my face repeatedly, if you're mad at me for saying that, that also helps the show. It's free. It gives us likes. It lets the algorithm know that this is helpful content. I'm taking suggestions for alternative phrases to tap my face. Tap that.
Gently place a single finger right here on the screen where my face is located to tenderly open my profile. What?
Firmly grasp it.
Firmly grasp it.
Hold the back of your phone with a firm hand. All right, I'm done.
3% is the word. It may not have refreshed for you, but it's the first.
And then cup the balls.
Oh my god.
Come on.
3%, Will. That's the number.
That's the number? Why am I not getting it? Sorry, guys.
I don't know, but God bless John in the comments. John is down here. Now, Tasha, everybody, freeze in the chat.
Yeah.
Asking you shall receive.
Okay. Breaking, guys. Breaking. Yeah, June CPI inflation rates fall to 3%, below expectations of 3.1%. Yum, 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 yum. Delicious. Yes, this is so good. Oh, yes. What is it? Core CPI inflation fell to 3.3%, below expectations of 3.4%. It's the third straight month in a row of declining CPI inflation. Let's see. I want to dive into this. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. And Bitcoin's above some resistance. Here we go. Let's take a look at how this is reacting.
Yeah, let me see it. I'm going to put you on the big screen.
I'm going to show you. All right, guys. So this is the daily time frame for Bitcoin. And actually, to make this a little more fun, here is the 1 hour chart. And this is the hour we were working on. Mere moments ago, we were here. We were right here. CPI data came out. Bootoosh. And now here we are. So in the past, I don't know, couple minutes, we have had a 1% jump in Bitcoin in the past couple minutes, which is nice. And so now what we're looking for, just from a TA standpoint here, guys, if you don't know what these lines are, they're exponential moving averages. It's the 12, the 21, and the 55. Basically, they signify areas of support and resistance on a chart. And there are a bunch of different ways you can get support and resistance. This is just one way to do it, right? And so what we really need to see Bitcoin do is we need to see ETF volume come in. We need to see money pump in, right? And the biggest thing is this orange line. This orange line is a 200-day exponential moving average, and it is the thing that tells us if we're in a bull market or bear market, if we're above it or below it, right? So when we do go below it in a bear market, it typically doesn't last a long time. And if we can, what we want to see today's candle do is we want to see us get some further extension from the 200-day exponential moving average, because what's most likely going to happen is we'll have some kind of correction, maybe in a few days, right? The stochastic RSI is showing us that we're not in overbought territory yet. So there's plenty of room for us to actually have a pretty big extension between today's candle and the next candle. But we want some room. We want like a buffer zone for us to have a correction to come back down, because traders are going to want to see us come down and touch the 200-day EMA again and turn it into support and solidify it. And what that's going to do is it is most likely going to absolutely confirm that this was absolutely unequivocally our bottom, particularly, and this is the last thing I'll say, when we come to the weekly time frame, particularly because the weekly time frame is so ridiculously oversold with the stochastic RSI. The combination of us getting back above and turning the 200-day exponential moving average while the stochastic RSI on the weekly time frame is ridiculously oversold is, in my opinion, absolutely unequivocally confirmation that this is the lowest we're going. Unless, of course, something crazy happens in the market. But seeing as how inflation just came in better than expectations, I don't see how anybody or their blind mother could look at that and say that there's going to be bearish things happening on the chart for Bitcoin and crypto right now.
You know what's funny?
Which is everything you want to hear.
This is just yet another. So looking at the already apparent reaction of Bitcoin to this piece of
I'm going to be listening to you, but I'm also going to be buying some altcoins right now.
Go buy. Do your thing, man.
Yeah.
Just so US CPI data has this much of an impact, and people wonder why I'm not like more bullish when something small happens in a tiny fringe European-based exchange.
I know. It's like
this is why, because the US, I'm not saying that this is good. I'm just saying that this is the way that it is. The US is absolutely driving the ship and everyone else is in the trunk.
Yeah.
Huh. And somebody mentioned Germany and Mount Gox. Germany dumped another like 3,000 Bitcoin or something like that. Mount Gox, people are concerned that 140,000 Bitcoin could be released to the market. But first of all, the liquidity of Bitcoin, it's deep. It's deep. And the Mount Gox thing, a lot of those tokens are going to maxis. They're going to exchanges. They're going to creditors. They're going to people who have a vested interest in holding.
They're going to Michael Saylor.
They're going to Michael Saylor, etc. And so, in Germany, I honestly, I absolutely don't understand what they're doing. But that's a seizure that will soon be over, kind of thing. It is wild to think we have such a big macro influence. Somebody published a PDF and the market moved.
Yep. No, it's that's consistently the way that it goes. Like the world is waiting to see what the SEC is going to say about X, Y, and Z, or what the result of this lawsuit is going to be, or this one. It's always America focused, just because of the size.
And I'll put this into perspective. Also, can this swap fucking work? Thank you, Jesus.
Also, well, you got to tell us. We know it's the NFA thing, but everybody is going to want to know which altcoins are you buying. So you might as well tell us that too.
I mean, I just bought Benji, because I have money set aside to buy more Benji and Aerodrome. But the thing is Aerodrome is overextended on the daily time frame, so I want to see that get back into oversold territory. So I'm probably going to make one more buy into Benji, maybe two more buys over the next 2 days, and then I'm going to be taking the rest of the money that I have, and I'm going to be waiting to see Aerodrome become oversold on the daily time frame, because right now Aerodrome's at 63 cents. I wouldn't be shocked to see it come back down to 55 cents. Really wouldn't, over the next few days, unless of course we get a gigantic mega god candle, in which case my Aerodrome bag is already pretty fucking big. So like I'm cool with that. But yeah, no, I'm putting more money into base. And actually I might buy more Moonwell also. Let me take a look at the chart there. But it's just, I'm just increasing my bags in base. And the more and more I think about it, the more and more I am considering looking at my portfolio, and every coin that I decide to cut and then set aside as cash and then see when a correction comes, I'm just going to continue to load into my base bags. Because like the base coins still have such a smaller market cap than the Solana coins, and I still expect there to be monumental growth in the amount of people coming onto use base and the amount of money coming into base. So I'm just going to consolidate my bags into my base bags, which for the most part, the overwhelming majority of my base bag is Aerodrome, Moonwell. Which, guys, if you don't know, Aerodrome is the decentralized exchange of base. Moonwell is the lending protocol of Base. And then also there's Extra Finance, which is a leveraged farming solution. It's a high risk solution where you can make a bunch of returns. Those types of things always do well in bull markets, but I definitely have more confidence in Moonwell and Aerodrome right now. So those are the two that I'm really looking to consolidate my plays into. And I know I just said I bought Benji right now. That is a meme coin. It's the dog meme coin of Base. But like my portfolio is, I think, 6 or maybe 7, maybe 8. It's between 6 to 8% meme coin.
Numbers are moving up, man.
I know, dude, that's because my Benji keeps going up. It's because my Benji and my Popcat. My $100 that I put in Popcat is $5,500 right now in Popcat. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
What's your target for some of those? I mean, Popcat sounds like an anomaly, but Benji is one you've talked about a lot. And
yeah.
What's the market cap right now?
Let's find out.
Because I think it's interesting. It's a smart play, generally speaking, to go to a new chain that's getting attention and spend time there before everybody else. I invested in, there's a website called the Farcaster Index. So like Base is a subset of Ethereum and Farcaster is a subset of Base. So we're talking niche. And they've got like 100 tokens listed on their website. And I went there as soon as I got on Warpcast and I was like, I'll take some of this and some of this and some of this. And most of them have gone nowhere. And I expect them to go nowhere until people arrive. But if people do arrive and one of them goes up, it'll be a Popcat,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so Benji's at a $48 million market cap, which for me is a big meme coin. However, I do absolutely. Jesse Pollock likes Benji, by the way. He brought the project into the Base. What do they call it? I forget the name, but like it's being included in like a bunch of the Base stuff now, because meme coins are good at generating value and liquidity and attention. So like it's honestly a meme coin that I think could very well hit a $500,000 market cap. I mean, $500 million market cap. Some people always say it's going to be 1 billion. I mean, that's hard. But meme coins do that. So, Benji is showing a lot of strength. They have a really good Twitter following. They have really good Base people connected to it. I think it'll continue to do well.
And what do you think for some of these alts, especially in when are you looking to take? Are you taking profits on the way up, or are you looking for a particular target for stuff like Arrow, for stuff like Moonwell, Benji?
I am a long-term investor, right? I don't make trades too often. What I do is I have my portfolio and I'll prune my portfolio. Set that aside as cash, and then eventually I'll buy back in. I like my positions to be held for a year or so, typically, to be in long-term capital gains tax. But I am changing that strategy a little bit, and I was talking about that with Alex when we went live one of the past nights ago, where I am going to be taking much more aggressive profits as soon as I get the slightest whiff of even short-term overextension in Bitcoin. And when I say short-term for me is like still like 3 months. Like that's short-term for me when I say short-term, which is mid to long-term for some people in crypto. But like I'm not looking at price targets because I've found that when I look at price targets, I get married to those price targets. And then I just like wait to see that number happen. And if it doesn't happen, I get fucked, I get stuck holding the bag. So what I'm going to be doing is if Bitcoin starts looking overextended to me on the weekly time frame and on the stochastic RSI, on the RSI, on the MACD, if I start seeing a double top candle pattern, which I was too bullish this last correction we had to notice the triple top pattern. I was just like, it's going up. It still happens to me too, guys. But I'm fine with shaving off 30 to 40% of my Aerodrome bag. I'm fine with taking a look and seeing if there are coins that have recovered nicely, but not as nice as I want to, as I think I can find in the market. I'm fine with selling 100% of them. Coins in my portfolio I have targeted as possible for that are Extra Finance, just because I don't think the Base team and ecosystem are willing to promote a leveraged farming solution as much as they are Aerodrome and Moonwell, because they're far safer for new investors. That involves my Zeus network on Solana. That involves my Orange BRC20 DeFi play. And like maybe 1 or 2 other coins, right? Where I'd be fine with shaving off 100% of them in a few months and they're setting that as USDC earning 5% because I guarantee you there's going to be another 20-25% correction in Bitcoin where altcoins collapse 70% again. And even if I sell, let's say 50% of my Aerodrome bag, if I see Aerodrome overextended on the week time frame, I bet it falls 60 to 70% again, and that I will be able to buy back in. Even if it like goes up another 50% from where I sold, I almost guarantee you I'm going to get a lower buy entry if I wait. You know,
and you would buy in because you believe in the service that it provides.
Yeah. And I wouldn't sell all of my bag. Like, let's just say let's say Bitcoin goes to the 80 to 90K range by, sometime in 3 or 4 months, right? I would be fine with selling for 30%, 40% of my Aerodrome bag, putting that to the side, but then I still have my Moon bag, right? Still have that locked in. I still have that waiting to get to long-term capital gains tax because I'm still very bullish on Aerodrome long-term, but I want to make sure that I am also taking some time to put cash on the side because, what if the Bitcoin cycle does end early? What if it does end early, right? I want to de-risk myself because in the past, I always left myself exposed to too much risk. Being like, no, I'll only sell 10% because like, it's going to go up higher. I just know it is. And then like things fall. And when I got out of the markets, at far worse times. And then I just took a big chunk out the gate and then averaged my way out. I would have made so much more money. I'd have so much more money, right? We probably wouldn't be talking. I wouldn't be here.
On the yacht next to the Oscar Mayer Wiener guy. Honestly, that's like one of the top mistakes I see people in crypto make that I have made many times is waiting for a number before I take too much profit instead of just taking profit when I make profit.
Yeah.
You too, Alex.
Yeah. And I've talked about this before on lives, but once we hit January 2025, I'm selling 5% of every single one of my altcoin bags on the first of every single month going through 2025, no matter where it's at. I don't care where it's at. I don't care if we're at the bottom of a correction. Maybe I will care if we're at the bottom of a correction. Maybe I'll change that strategy a little bit. But like, just no matter where we are, just 5% of my Aerodrome, of my Moonwell, of my IMX, of my Beam, of my Alex, of my all the coins I have, right? Of my Jupiter, just immediately, just making sure that I am correcting my mistakes from the past bull runs, making sure that money is just going to go to USDC, it's going to go over to Coinbase, it's going to earn a little bit of interest before I'm ready to convert it into cash and go to my high yield savings account, right? So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to read the market. And if I see like, hey, there's another at least momentary overextension in the market, I sold, let's say it's February 20th. I know I sold 5% on February 1st, but I'll sell another 15% right now, just in case, And then that way, over time, I'm just taking some chips off the table, right? So that's my general plan moving forward. So it's kind of a combination of
So Will?
Yeah.
Are you selling Alex today?
No.
It's up 60% today.
Oh yeah, I got to know. Oh, it's funny. Oh, I woke up this morning to a notification on my phone where it's like, Alex is down 17%. And I was like, fuck, what the hell? And then I scrolled up and it's like, Alex is up 45%. I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, that happened first. I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I held my Alex bag because there's nothing wrong with Alex. And the other thing too is Alex, so for those of you who don't know, Alex Lab is another decentralized exchange, similar to Aerodrome, similar to Jupiter, similar to Uniswap, right? But it is the decentralized exchange built on DEX, which is the layer 2 for Bitcoin. Okay, so it's where you go to Alex Lab to get your BRC20s and your ordinals and your runes and all that stuff. And Alex Lab is the major exchange by volume. It destroys all the other decentralized exchanges. And a month and a half or 2 months ago, it got hacked. And what happened is one of the members of the team like clicked on like a phishing link, and someone got into his stuff, found the wallet key information for one of their liquidity pools, and stole a bunch of stacks and a bunch of Alex, and then went to go try to sell it. So, long story short, Alex Lab has fixed this situation. I think they did a pretty damn good job of it. But the thing is The smart contract for Alex was perfectly fine. It was perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with it. And during the entire time, so they shut down the Alex Lab decentralized exchange, and when they reopened it, it immediately shot up to the #1 decentralized exchange by volume on Stacks again by a wide margin. So the smart contract is fine. People are still using it and loving it. It delivers a good experience, and it has an upgrade coming with the Nakamoto upgrade, which is going to make it more scalable. It's going to make it faster. It's going to make it cheaper, so it doesn't move at the speed of Bitcoin. It'll move faster. It's not going to move as fast as Solana. In fact, it's going to be a little bit slower than Ethereum still, but it still will be much faster. So I see that, and I rode that bag down, 85, 90% because of the hack, whatever it is, right? And I just went, this is going to go up. I'm going to hold this. This is going to be fine. And so you tell me that Alex Lab is up 60% today, and I tell you Alex Lab is just working its way back up to its fair value price for the value that it delivers people via its service. So I'm not surprised at all. I've been waiting for this to happen.
Let me pause you real quick to honor a question that asked, can we give a whistle-stop summary of the inflation data? We've talked about it a little on the show. The number is 3%. Bitcoin has reacted with a miniature pump. We're seeing the market react in the next couple of minutes, I'm sure, too. We'll give a really good summary. And if you want more on this, I honestly would say, I bet the articles are coming out now that will say much of the same thing. And we will post the stream on YouTube at the end of the week. Anything to add? Bitcoin reacting 3% bullish.
What was that?
3% Bitcoin reacting bullish. Good short summary.
Yes. Yeah. Very short summary.
Okay. And also, let me say at this point too, since we're paused momentarily, we are going to end this stream because it's Thursday, a little early today, and we're going to move it over to the Discord event stage. If you want a little closer conversation, if you're frustrated because you're like, man, these guys don't read comments, or it's moving too fast, or you just don't have enough room to type, Discord is the place to be. It's totally free to join the Discord. It's at the link in our bios. You can gently press the area of the screen that corresponds with my face or Alex's or Will's, or visit theriseupmorningshow.com and jump on in there. Verify yourself. You can come over to the event stage, and then we will rotate people up like a true radio-style call-in show so that you can actually ask us your question. We want to do that for our friends in Discord because you guys are, the best part of the Rise Up Morning Show. You make the community possible. We'll do that in, 15 minutes. We'll head over there. Sound good, guys?
Sounds good.
Oh, hey, Tori, I don't know if you can hear me. I sent you a message in Discord, but I keep getting these live video violations that say, please ensure your live displays and describes the products you're listing in your content shop. So I'm not sure if you're doing something. I know I just gave you some mod permissions, but careful about it because TikTok, I think they play the 3 strikes rule and they might kick me out. We'll figure it out on another live for sure. If you don't know Tori, by the way, Tori's like one of the reasons you should be in the Discord because she's super friendly and helpful. Let's go. What are you showing us, Will?
Yes, so I saw a question about Immutable X and Beam, and there was a really cool update on Immutable X that happened yesterday. And this chart here, so this shows active daily users, right? And you can see Manta Pacific here, you can see Starknet here, you can see Blast here, Optimism Mainnet, ZK Sync Era. Immutable X was 3rd yesterday, Base was 2nd, and Arbitrum was 1st. So you ask me about Immutable X, and I just show you Vegeta powering up, and that pretty much sums up my thoughts on Immutable X. But Immutable X is going to have an explosion of users and growth on their chain because they're releasing 50 games over the next 4 months. And in 2025, they're releasing like 150 games. And Beam is doing the same. You asked me about Beam. Beam is also releasing about 100 or so games in 2025. I've been telling everybody that 2025 is going to be the year of gaming because that's when we're going to see an explosion of actually kind of cool, fun-looking games coming out. And, there'll be a huge explosion of daily active users on Immutable X and also Beam, which should result in growth of the tokens.
And what are the metrics they're basing those bars off of? That's active users, but does that mean like people who signed in, people who did a transaction? Do you have any deeper data on that?
I don't, but daily active users are usually people who have logged in and made some type of transaction, some type of interaction with the interface.
I'm curious what you think about Arbitrum because Arbitrum consistently has high DAU stats, but most people I know on Arbitrum are developers doing developer things that produce a lot of volume for like, sometimes I question like what's actually happening on Arbitrum, but it seems always to lead those kind of numbers. Do you guys have any thoughts or insight on that? Because
No, but that is a good point. Because it's the same for Immutable X. Because remember that for Immutable X, their users are game developers, right? That is because Immutable X, it's not a game, right? Immutable X is a platform where people build games.
Right.
So for them, daily active users are the amount of people coming on to build games, which is what you want to see, right? And with Arbitrum, that also makes sense that most of them are developers because people are always building on it. And again, like I've never really used Arbitrum directly myself, at least not knowingly. But yeah, I mean, I would say that's a pretty accurate measure. Daily active users is a combination of developer activity as well as people actually using it.
Yeah, excellent. If you've got a question and we've missed it, please do drop it again in the chat. Help us help you, and be patient with us while we work to answer it. I do have a couple of rapid fire questions if you guys want to answer. And let me say this too, if you have a question for us, giving us some context will help. What do you think about Quant is not as helpful as, what do you think about Quant? I'm worried about the recent update and the price action. I know you don't have a lot of characters in your comments, but that will help us understand. Or did you guys see Gala Games founders are in a lawsuit? Is that bullish or bearish? Those kind of things, like a little bit of context goes a long, long way because we really don't do price predictions. Though sometimes because of his excellent research, our friend will give you a price target. We really prefer to keep it helpful as possible. So let us know what you're thinking. I have never seen this platform. We just got asked about Superverse. It's a gaming project. Are you guys hip to Superverse?
I am not hip.
Lightly.
Alex says he is. Lightly hip. No, dude, you're really hip.
Not to super. I don't know.
Look at those gauges.
I don't know that much about Superverse. I was just saying, someone was asking about games on Immutable X. I've been playing Gods Unchained for like 3 years.
Yeah, that's been a good one.
That's a good one. Is Illuvium's on Immutable X as well, I think. Yeah, I don't know. The games that are for me the most enjoyable right now have been Gods Unchained, although I haven't played it in a little bit. It's been a couple months. And Shrapnel, but that's on Avalanche, not Immutable X. Although by player, like just raw player count, Ronin is still absolutely dominating, and it's not even close. It's not even close.
Peter says Forgotten Playland on Beam has been pushed to the front. I don't know what GU is that they refer to, but there's certainly a lot of activity.
Forgotten Playland is cool. I know personally a number of people on that team. I haven't played it. That's on my short list of things to make time for to mess around with. I don't know exactly in what status it is play wise, but all right, Bub, I'm done with you.
Amin Yamin, you're out of here. Get him out of here.
Oh, I had just sent them a comment. Good for you. Oh, Gods Unchained. That's what you use. I see. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, there's the shift that everyone is looking for is, I hear talked about all the time, just waiting for games to be good. I feel like that's almost exclusively said by people who are making no effort to play any of them, because there's quite a few pretty good ones. If you're into that kind of thing, yeah.
That's me. I'm waiting for him to get good. When was the last time you played one of these Web3 games? Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. I hear that is the most common talking point I hear about Web3 gaming, that Web3 gaming will matter when the games are good. And I'm like, okay, which ones are you playing that you don't like? and that's the answer.
Yeah.
So just go try them. Go try them. Don't, you can skip the ones that require some sort of ridiculous startup cost. Don't buy any crazy NFTs to get into some game just to give it a try. But there's plenty that you can try without paying for anything or trying anything. And even the ones that do require an NFT, if you like make a little bit of a notice about it on Twitter or something, I guarantee somebody will give you one. I've done it many times for several of the other games that I've been into over the years. Just go give something to try, and then figure out what you like, what you don't like.
Excellent answer. I'm going to give you another rapid fire question. We have two really good questions coming in. I'm going to give us a light one first, and then the other one is a little more intense, and I want everyone's answer on. The first one is, what do we think about the real world asset narrative? Are there any standout tokens? And the specific ask from Peter was to talk about Propy, which we've mentioned on the show before. And I would just simply hand it off to you guys to say, I think Propy has built some interesting products. I think real world assets have a potentially powerful narrative. And if I was to add a token to my portfolio starting from zero personally that meets my needs, the proof I'd look for with the pudding would be something like Ondo, which has real results with partnerships like Securitize, the Biddle Fund from BlackRock, talking almost $1 billion of volume in that fund. Products people can actually use where stuff like gold or oil or honey or whatever has been tokenized, gives velocity to those things. The more ways people can invest in those things, which, like Alex says, are hard to get your hands on, hard to own, hard to move, tokens are great for that. They're easy for verifying ownership. They're easy for transferring ownership. They're easy ways to effortlessly represent another thing that they purport to be. And so generally, I'm bullish. I don't know enough about what Propy's done recently to have much of an opinion, but if their products lately are a lot like their first product, the Bitcoin mortgage, I think that's great. Giving veracity, ownership, verifiability to real estate, bullish. You can buy fractions of a token that allow you to own fractions of a house. That's pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah, but so I don't disagree with any of the ideas about RWA. I think it's really cool. I think it makes sense, right? Like, I would prefer that the digital versions of these things are easier to manage, easier to hold. Fractionalizing assets like this is a really cool idea. But the one thing that I never really hear discussed is how heavily regulated that space is, and how there is absolutely zero legal or regulatory framework to incorporate any of these crypto or token projects into this kind of thing. So, like, while we could sit here and say, what would be super cool is if an apartment building could be fractionalized and owned by all of the tenants. Side note, that's a really great idea for an actual DAO that isn't a pyramid scheme. But there's no if you created a token, so a project creates a token to symbolize this apartment building, there is nothing legally binding at all to force the owner of the building to oh, well, shit, someone tokenized it, now I have to sell it to them. They could just say, no, that's not real. You don't get that. So Propy gets a little bit of a bonus because you can kind of take like something you already own and start to tokenize something about it, which makes sense. It's like my house, the bank's house, this house that the bank is letting me stay in, as long as I keep paying them. That's one thing, but just I would be hyper cautious of any project that wants to fractionalize and tokenize real world assets unless they can very, very clearly and specifically and legally articulate to you exactly what the framework is to tokenize whatever you're looking at. Like gold, for example. If you had this NFT represents this much gold, and if you hold it, you're entitled to whatever. It's like, okay, cool. Where is the gold? Who owns it? And do they give a shit that I have this NFT? All of these questions need to be answered before something like that could could make any sense to me. And so the disconnect, the obvious disconnect between a token and the thing in real life has to be very clearly and very specifically defined. Otherwise, literally, they are all scams because it's completely meaningless. Like, I could say right now that Evan's house, I can get Evan's address and just tokenize his house and sell it to as many people as I want with nothing to back it up. And it would be news to Evan if one of those token holders showed up one day and was like, hey, I'm here to move into your bedroom because I own that NFT. And Evan would legally be allowed to shoot them. So it's like, just doesn't make any sense. Now, the last thing that I will say, the coolest RWA project I've ever seen was an independent NFT project from about 2.5 years ago, where this guy reached out to me. He's like, hey, I own a, like, I forget what it was. It was a beautiful car. It was like a 1950s Jaguar. It was gorgeous. He had like completely restored it. It was in beautiful condition. He kept it in a showroom kind of thing. Like, you know, it was his baby. And he was like, I'm really interested in NFTs. I would like to tokenize my car and sell the parts of the car as NFTs, and then everyone could buy them. And then they would be able to like bring that token to the showroom where my car lives. And, you know, depending on like which part of it they owned, they would like get some sort of a privilege. It was very quarter baked, but like that as an isolated project makes perfect sense because that guy owned the car completely. It was not financed. It was his car. He had the title and all that good stuff. Like he carried insurance on it, blah, 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 whatever. And he could sell an NFT of the driver's seat, which would entitle you to take it like around the track or something like that, you know, a few times, once a month or something like that, right? That makes sense because there's no legal or regulatory bullshit to get in the way of like the guy wanting to tokenize a real world asset, his car, and then give someone access to it based on the tokens that they hold. But if I just said, you know, hey, I don't know, I want to tokenize a bunch of cars and then we are going to go to a dealership and like show them our NFTs. Like there's no regulatory framework for that, and they would have you arrested.
Now, I do want to clarify though, because while I don't disagree with you, there are examples where people are. The example I would point to, they're very niche, is Cougar DAO. I have a friend who lives here in Memphis who is in real estate and also in blockchain.
So just for the record though, Evan, that's not at all what I'm talking about.
No, but I think you may have misrepresented the ability for people who want to do this stuff to do it. I think it's easier and more possible than that explanation would lead them to believe.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like the guy owned his car. The car is a metaphor for anyone who owns anything. I'm saying that like you, Evan, don't get to rent an apartment and then tokenize your building because you happen to pay rent there.
No, it's like taking a selfie with a Lamborghini and turning it into an NFT.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm familiar. Please, you know, give us the TLDR on Cougar DAO because I do think that that's cool and not at all what I'm talking about. So if that's the vibe I gave off, I just mean like you don't get to just tokenize something and say now it's tokenized. We all own it. That's not how it works.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. You have to own, and I could not agree more with. And I'm so glad you said about regulations got to catch up with this because it's not easy. You've got to jump through a ton of hoops. This organization, Cougar DAO, has tokenized up an apartment building, and they have tokenized units. They own the building. They have set up an entity to form a legal DAO, a Wyoming LLC. The state of Wyoming has frameworks for DAOs to make them legal entities. They use a smart contract platform called Kali that allows them to pool money and get tokens that represent their collective ownership, that they can vote with, that people can purchase to represent renting the apartment. The tokens, you know, circulate in and out of their wallet. They hold rent in escrow from people who purchase rent at the apartment. It's trickled to them in real time. So if somebody leaves their lease, it's not like this weird clunky situation where you got to like call them up and hassle them for the money. The money's in a smart contract. It can't be forged, faked, stolen. They've also used this to create a revenue generating tokenized farm that they have collectively invested in with their pooled money. and then the tokens, which represent their shares and how to vote about what should be done there, or how much money they should earn from the revenue generated. They're managed by the smart contract too. It is super, super cool. The deed is an NFT. It's wild. It's called Cougar DAO, and they're super niche and they're super friendly. But I absolutely think 10 years from now, they're going to be the example in the textbook when we look back and say, like, how did people get here? They'll look at that. And I didn't mean to bug you, Will. I just wanted to give that context.
No, I don't have a single thing to add to anything you guys said on real world assets, honestly.
Well, maybe we'll have something to add about this, because the next question that we got that I want to talk about is it important? I'm sorry?
I was going to say, can I give 2 quick tangent updates? It'll take 30 seconds.
Yeah.
First of all,
please.
Donald Trump is confirmed as a speaker at the Bitcoin Nashville conference. 2 p.m.
Him and RFK both there together?
Yeah, him and RFK Jr. are both there together, which will be interesting. And then the other thing too is I got this picture from a friend of mine who's a crypto guy, like he works in the industry. And it's a picture apparently of the Packed Polkadot event at ETHCC. And there it is. There it is. Packed.
So packed.
Get the last seat in this Packed Polkadot event at ETHCC. Madness.
No, there goes more of their marketing budget right there.
There goes more of their marketing budget. That was all. That was all.
Just for the record, having been to a consensus just now, which was packed, that is what almost all of the speaker panels looked like. Almost every single one, with very few exceptions. Like Brad Garlinghouse filled the seats. Mike Novogratz filled the seats. No one else really filled any seats. People don't go to conferences to listen to the speakers because you can watch them for free on YouTube an hour later. They go to conferences to network and meet people, and ETHCC has been fucking packed. I can't believe how many people went to Brussels for that conference, considering that it's an international one and it's hard to get to. Yeah. Also considering that Brussels is having some issues with the crime rate right now, and also considering that it's been pouring and half the city is flooded, which is hilarious considering that just happened in Dubai at Token 2049 this year, where everyone showed up and then the city flooded.
God hates crypto.
But so it's definitely misleading. I've seen that exact photograph circulated on Twitter 6 or 7 different times to make fun of everything. Like anyone who they think can't draw a crowd, they're just using that picture.
Dude, it's just supposed to show you I'm so bullish on the unconference. So bullish on, like, you know, when we do an IRL event and it's just people hanging out and none of that, like, I don't know. It's just there's so much opportunity and these people clearly just don't understand it. You know.
The thing I'm most curious about the Bitcoin conference is I have a sneaking suspicion that Javier Milei, the president of Argentina, is going to have a Zoom call again, or not again, but like the president of El Salvador did in 2020. He's going to zoom his way in and declare that Bitcoin will be legal tender in Argentina. It's the time. He's been setting it up ever since he became president, and it would be the timing for him to do it.
It would be. And Bitcoin has historically, that conference has historically been a place where people making it. That's where El Salvador made their announcement. There are lots of announcements that happen there.
Yeah. And then I would love for, even though I would love for Trump to be like, and Bitcoin will be legal tender, and then I want Javier Milei to be like, Bitcoin will be legal tender, and I'm just like, all right, cool, let's go, guys, let's go, $500,000 Bitcoin this cycle, let's go.
That would be the most Trump thing ever, to like make a statement he has no authority to make, and rug a guy who actually has the authority to make it. And once again, nobody pays attention to the global South because here's America. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know, we have
America too.
We have more than half the world's wealth invested in our asset markets. You know, so sorry, rest of the world for finance, but us and China are the only ones that matter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What are you grinning about over there? Or you just laughing?
Just laughing at Will. I don't know. I hope that we get, like I keep saying, I hope we get some kind of net good, but you'd be silly to trust any of these people running for president to do anything legitimately beneficial for this industry.
I don't need them to, though. I just need them to say they're going to and pump my bags momentarily because I'm trying to sell in this bull market, baby.
That's what I'm saying. I hope that they can manipulate the market just enough so that someone can profit off of it. But like
us, all of us.
I'm just not one. I'm not the target audience for being interested in that.
Alex for president.
No, hard pass.
Now, listen, I've got a good question that you guys are going to love here that came up a little while ago, and I want to talk about it. Is it important? This is a portfolio question. Is it important to balance your portfolio with old, tested altcoins versus altcoins that have never seen a bull run? And I think this is a perfect time to remind you before I kick to these guys, we're having a portfolio principles class tomorrow. It's live. If you can't make the live class, you can buy the recording. We are trying to do more focused education around topics that people keep asking us about. It's your chance to sit down and learn in a video call, not with like character chat. We can talk about our portfolios. We can talk about your portfolios. And the thing I want to emphasize before I kick it to you guys is to ask a question like that is a finger pointing to the moon. You are looking at, should I have alts or old alts, when really the question is, what are my goals? What is my time frame? If you believe you ought to have a thing because somebody says it's helpful or good, that doesn't take into account what is best for you. So before you ask, should I have this, should I have that, should I have this, should I have that, recognize that your position is unique. And the best thing you can do is build conviction by understanding what your goals and time frame are first. That's the foundational, most important step. If you miss that, it really doesn't matter which tokens you buy, because you're not going to understand why you bought them, when to sell them, how long to hold them, things like that. You see what I'm saying? But gentlemen, the question again was, how should I balance my portfolio? Is it important to include old alts versus new alts I believe have room to grow? And generally, what do you think? Portfolio principles. Give them a little teaser.
Very few old coins can give you the returns in crypto that you're looking for. For two reasons. First of all, old coins will naturally have a larger market cap. Larger market caps need more money to pump into them to give you returns. Also, the trading volume is always the highest at the tops of bull markets, meaning that more people buy near the top than people buy near the bottom, meaning you have salty bag holders from the last cycle who will happily sell anywhere close to their entry point just to get out and break even because they've been underwater for 2.5 years. So it's much harder for old coins to see monumental explosive growth. That can happen, and it does happen, and it will continue to happen for a select few of the coins that are still in hot trends, that are still developing, and that are doing all the right things. But those are very few and far in between. So my coaching to people has always been, most of your portfolio should be new coins, because new coins have smaller market caps. New coins don't have salty bag holders. New coins are typically built on newer, better, faster, cheaper technology. And new coins are typically built directly aimed at whatever the hottest trends are, and are also typically directly aimed at the ecosystems that are getting the most money. Hence, Solana and Base having an explosion of new coins. That's why you should have more investments in newer coins than older coins if you want the best returns. Not to say you can't get good returns out of the old coins too, but much more likely to get the gains that you hear about in crypto from new coins.
Very well said. I love when I can throw the alley-oop and you can slam dunk it. And I know Alex is going to have something. I actually have a rebuttal to it, but I want to hear what you have to say, Alex, because I wonder if you're going to do the same thing Will did, where you're going to say exactly what I'm thinking.
Help me out here.
Well, Will said, he said, if you're building a portfolio, his advice would be to focus. First of all, he contextualized it. Old coins have a lot higher bar than new coins. They've already got a market cap. They've already got bag holders.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi just went out and then came back, and I'm like switching from cell network to Wi-Fi and back again.
Okay.
One more time. We're building a
So here we
portfolio.
are. Old coins versus new coins. Will's advice is new coins because old coins have baggage. They have big market caps.
Yes.
If you want portfolio growth, look at new coins. But I also recognize we're talking to a beginner here who says, I don't have the acumen or the speed you guys do to know what's new, and not just what's new, but to know like this is new and this is new. Are they any good? And I was wondering, I was going to rebut Will a little bit, but I wanted to pass it to you because I had a feeling you were probably going to say the same thing I was going to say.
Okay,
Not
I
that
got
I disagree with Will, but or say whatever you want to say. What's your advice for? Magic.
it's tough because I would agree that like if you want growth, you've got to try to get a finger on the pulse of the trends. Yeah, Tori's right. The weird old guy in my driveway did something to my internet.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So the problem with trying to track trends and find the good new stuff as a new person in crypto usually means that you end up taking way too much advice from someone on a screen like this, and that's not particularly helpful. So I would say, in the beginning, you have to be willing to pay the tax. Hayden, that's 100% right. I read the chat, and then I hear like Will's talking, and I'm like, all right, cool. Will's got this for a minute, and then fucking Evan over here is like, Alex, your response, and I'm like, wow, dude.
I didn't do the homework.
doing me absolutely dirty.
But you always say something great. You're great at it, man. I never would know.
No. I don't know. Like someone had asked earlier, like what is my portfolio percentage-wise breakdown? And I always say like I'll happily tell you, but it's boring as shit. Like I literally hold 3 things and then like a few bucks of some stuff that means nothing that I've probably forgotten is in there. So it's like I hold Bitcoin, I hold Ethereum, and I have Solana. And they are almost evenly split. It's probably like, 40% Bitcoin and then 30 each of ETH and Solana. But that's my portfolio. I'm not like focused on trying to make sure that I catch the biggest pump. I just like want good stuff that's secure that like I believe in for whatever reason. High conviction plays, right? So I would encourage you to like intake information from social media to figure out like which narratives are the ones that are trending, but then stop it at that point and use that to read and figure out for yourself which projects belong to that and which ones are like legitimately doing something. Look for things that have actual users trying something. So like if we look at, pick a narrative. Okay, so AI was a narrative, or gaming is a narrative. So, I'll just talk about gaming because it's the one I know the most about. If gaming is a narrative and there's a bunch of people talking about trendy gaming projects and they talk about, we hear, what are some big names? Beam, Immutable X, Ronin, Avalanche, some more fringe stuff. Sorry? Yeah.
Dollar.
Exactly. And some of these are things that like, okay, cool. Yeah, I've heard about this. I've done whatever. They're all trendy. And someone's like, just diversify and get a little bit of everything or whatever. And it's like, okay, that makes sense to me. Before I do that, let's just do a quick search to see which network has the players, where are the players currently living and operating. And you would do that and you would be like, oh my God, overwhelmingly, they are on Ronin. So I guess RON is my gaming play. But that would be based on a metric that I can measure and see for myself, not like what the TikToker tells me to do because of who just paid them to make the video or whatever. So that's how I would do it, I guess. Use social media to figure out like which narratives are sexy right now, who's got the attention, and then spend the time that you can, because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you have no business investing in something that you don't understand. So if you're not willing to like sit down and do some reading and figure it out before you hit buy, just go invest in something else that you do understand, because you're way more likely to get screwed. Because if you rely on the influencers to tell you which to buy when, you also have to rely on those same people to then clue you into when to sell and why. And you're way more likely to miss that. You don't have the wherewithal to like make the decision like, oh my God, this thing that just happened is bad news. And I know that it's bad news because I figured out that I wanted to buy it. Gala. Okay, I bought Gala several years ago, and now I'm seeing all of this news about a lawsuit and whatever. Does it matter? Like, are the players disappearing? You have no clue, because the influencer who shilled you to buy Gala 2 years ago is now long gone, and who knows, and you made that purchase without, an understanding of the thing that you were buying. So I'm just kind of turned into a ramble about not trusting influencers as it usually does for me, but
Can I pick up the ball and run with it? Because I have one more thing to add.
please.
That if you especially are like a low net worth new individual, if you have less than $100,000 to invest in crypto, I'm not shaming you, I'm not blaming you. Frankly, I'm right there with you, baby. The thing you should remember too is don't spread your money around so much, and don't spread your attention around so much, or your community.
That's huge. That's massive.
It's so big, because if you're diversifying, if you're doing what Alex said, you're like, oh, all these tokens, I've got $1,000 to invest. Let me throw $100 at 10 different tokens in the gaming narrative. Well, where's your Bitcoin exposure? Where's your Sol exposure? And you have just diluted. One of those does a 10x, great. Now you've got $1,000 again to play with. It is a better use of your attention and your capital to start like at the top from one point. I always tell everybody to start with Bitcoin. If you are learning, it is the easiest to understand because there is the most information about it, the most helpful resources that will teach you not just about Bitcoin, but about blockchain, about crypto, in ways that will benefit you no matter where you look next. So step one with your attention and honestly probably your money is to get a little Bitcoin, because you want to learn, how do I buy it? How do I sell it? Where do I keep it? Which platforms are good? Bitcoin is the place to start. And then you might consider turning some of that Bitcoin or some of your cash into something like a stable coin. Because if you're in the crypto ecosystem, you're gonna need to understand stable coins. Stable coins like USDT and USDC are a great way to start learning about staking, which is the process of loaning your crypto to someone else the way you loan your money to your bank, so that they can do investment things with it, and then they'll give you a return. You can earn passive income on your stable coins like that exceeds a high yield savings account. I'm talking, 5 to 10%, or sometimes less, but like 5% is not uncommon. And that's great for just having dollars. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to do that, learning about lockup periods, fees, withdrawal fees, how to turn that crypto back into cash in your bank account, all that is great. And then spreading out from there. Instead of saying, oh my God, RWA is a narrative, it's going to blow up this year. Which of these tokens is a real company, like Alex says? Which of these has users? Which of these is fake? This one's got a sexy website. You don't have the acumen or experience. You can learn it. We're all regular guys. None of this is rocket science, but it takes time. And researching a company's social media page, or reading their white paper, or looking at their team and seeing someone used to work at Google, that's research. But a lot of people will be fooled into thinking that's enough research. I mean, did you really go into the Discord and have a talk with them? Did you ask their teacher what they were like in school? Have you talked to their past employers or their previous colleagues? No. And you will be fooled into thinking you've done enough research. And a lot of the time that'll lead you down a bad rabbit hole.
What's funny? Yesterday, so I posted a video yesterday, just as I am going to try to do more, just taking a steaming shit on influencers who launch their own memes. I'm so done pulling punches. I have no respect for any of them. I've never seen one done legally. I have no respect, absolutely zero, and I'll die on that hill. But somebody, an obvious angry bag. I'm surprised I didn't get more angry bag holders, but one very obviously angry bag holder started screaming at me in all caps about how it's on you to do your own research. And I'm like, okay, first of all, yes, I agree. You should take responsibility for your financial decisions, and you should research things before you buy them. But that's why I hate these memes so much, because there's nothing to research. You could have all the intentions of the world to sit down with your notepad at your computer and like gather information about these things and do the research. And at the end of the day, you can't because there's no information. So this dude is like, go read the white paper. And I'm like, first of all, that's rich. None of these morons are writing white papers. And even if they did, it would just be a sales pitch and a brochure. It would not be a technical document.
Also, for meme coins.
Exactly. And I'm like, so here's the thing about meme coins. You can absolutely research a meme coin. There's two types of research for a meme. One is like the few little things that you can gather from some self-audit websites like Token Sniffer or Rug Check or Honeypot IS, stuff like that, right? Like you can search the contract address and you can get a few basic facts about the contract and the way that it's written. Or you can just have a lot of experience. Like I've been doing this for years, so I can look at a Twitter and a meme and the few things on Rug Check and the way that it's being presented to me, and I can immediately tell you whether or not it has any real potential of actually being funny or actually gathering any people around it or whatever. I've never seen an influencer meme with a funny narrative. They're all so stupid. So like even the names
are unimaginative.
Even if they were launched, real quick, Ilium Cortez, the Discord is free. It's in the bios. If you wanted to.
Links don't work, so if they don't work for you, send us a DM. We'll get you an invite.
Yeah, let us know. Sorry. So none of the influencer memes are even any funny. I mean, like, what are some hee? What the fuck is that?
Right.
Amish butter? What the fuck is that? The only one that even remotely makes sense as a narrative is Crypto Bastards. But he's just like such a shithead.
I don't think it's a narrative. I think it's his name.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the only one that even remotely makes sense is he just named it after himself. But he's also pretty open about how the first step is to get an audience so that you have someone to grift. And it's like, yeah, dude, you accidentally said the quiet part out loud, my brother in Christ. Did you mean to post that video, or was that supposed to be private? So skip that one for sure. Go look at the charts, by the way, because every single one of these things, including Sage, which just launched, is dying. There's like the volume is not coming back. Minor, major, I will happily be rude and disrespectful every day of the week to these people. And my counter would be that it's way more rude and way more disrespectful to grift your audience after building a community with them through your TikTok for however long they've been operating and posting videos, and then to immediately lie to all of them and post a shitcoin for them to start trading and losing money to you. Sage had some launch problems is a great way of saying Sage was heavily insider traded before it launched, and he handed that shit out like candy to all of his friends who are just dumping on retail coming in, trying to get rich after being sold a guaranteed $1 billion market cap. The thing launched with a $30 million market cap. You know what that means? In meme land, that means that a bunch of people had a shitload of it before it went. And they pretended that it was all sniped and all like anti-snipe measures. Such bullshit. That was a grift of the highest caliber. And the amazing part about all of this is that these people claim to have been doing weeks of building and hard research before they launched. What were you spending 18-hour workdays doing? Nothing. You weren't doing shit. If in all of that weeks of hard research you couldn't Google CFTC regulations for launching something like this, I have no faith in you. You're an embarrassment and you should be ashamed of yourself. And all you're doing is launching a Ponzi scheme to grift on your audience and take advantage of these people. I've been lurking in all their Telegram chats for weeks, months. I watch them talk to their people. I have seen every time someone raises a concern, they get banned from the group. I have seen people talk about how they're spending their grocery money on this thing because, oh, this influencer's reputation is tied to this project. They have to do a good job. It has to succeed. No, it fucking doesn't.
These people don't give a shit about you. Sage did it to all of you with his NFT project, and then he disappeared from social media. He came back and aggressively started making fun of anyone who questioned him. And then he launched another one, and everyone's fucking just Venmo him the money. If you want to lose your money so bad and you want Sage to have it, just Venmo it to him. Or go donate it to a charity.
And let's be clear, this is every influencer token that anybody is selling you for buy this, make more money, buy this, I'm working on it, buy this. It is an unlicensed security. And the other laws it might be breaking fraud laws. It might be breaking market manipulation laws. It might be unlicensed financial advice. There are a lot of different charges that a person like this can be hit with. And the reason you're not seeing these things get prosecuted yet is because even though somebody might have a following of 10, 20, 100,000 people, they, for whatever reason, are not on the SEC's radar at this time. But it is just, our lawyer said to us in a conversation years ago, it is not worth the risk to ignore the fact that there is some regulator out there looking to make a name for themselves who is a junior associate at some firm thinking, what can I do to get a little attention? For that person, these people are low-hanging fruit. Alex, what do you always say about if all I got to do is go to the judge and hold up a cell phone, a video of you talking about this thing? I don't even have to open my mouth. You're breaking all the, that is every single, there are influencers who have tokens that you have never heard them talk about. There was this guy, I heard a great story yesterday. Tech CEO hosted this guy on a live I had never heard of who talked about how one day he just happened to be playing with Pump.Fun and wanted to learn how to do it. Saw the Costco hot dog meme. Thought it was brilliant because $1.50, it's always $1.50. Everybody loves Costco hot dogs. That's a great meme. You know, this token is going to go to $1.50. How can it not? It's the Costco hot dog or whatever. And he's like, what's something else like that? And he asked his wife and she was like, oh, Arizona iced tea. And you wouldn't think it, but he's like, let me just launch this meme token on Pump.Fun. Didn't tell anyone, went to Easter dinner with his family, checked his phone in the middle of the dinner, and it had already left Pump.Fun for Radium. And he told everyone, I'm so sorry, I have to go. And immediately got online and was like, looking at this thing. He immediately locked up his supply, relinquished the contract, went to verify. He threw up a website, threw up a Twitter to verify it so people wouldn't think it was a scam, and opened a Telegram where he relinquished his tokens to the community and didn't make any I'm telling you to buy this. Everybody else did the marketing for him, and it was because he got lucky. It was serendipitous. That was the only example I can think of in recent memory where a person who publicly admitted to creating a token didn't break any laws talking about it or launching it. It was a fantastic story, and it was totally serendipitous. Don't go do that. Or go do it. It'll be fun, but don't expect that kind of result. Every influencer who is telling you they launched a token, who is telling you to buy it, where the token's only utility is possibly number go up, illegal. End of story. Not a good investment.
So while you guys have been doing that, I've been buying an altcoin that is useful, Moonwell, lending protocol on base.
Okay, sell it to me. What are you buying?
It doesn't break any laws. And it's a $50 million market cap. Pretty small. Although my transactions keep failing in my Coinbase wallet, so I've only been able to get one transaction to go through.
Talking about Benji still?
No, I'm talking about Moonwell.
Oh, Moonwell.
Yeah, lending
They have
protocol.
the same market cap, 50 million and 48 million?
Will, you shiller. Sorry, what was the question?
They have the same market cap? You just said a minute ago Benji was 48 million. And now you're telling me Moonwell is 50? My
51.
God. I don't know if that makes me bullish on Moonwell or bearish on Benji, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Will's like, pump my bags, bro.
Yeah, Moonwell is incredibly oversold on daily and weekly time frames. So I was like, well, it's the same as Benji and it's actually useful, so money. Money.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Right. One more question, because guys, I won't be able to join the live at this point in the Discord because I have to do work stuff.
Okay. We have held on here a little long because the chat is just bustling today. So go earn your bread, man. Do you want to give us a final thought, a good joke, word of wisdom?
Well, I can take another question or so if there's any other topic left that's interesting for us to discuss, and then I'll leave some final wisdom.
Perfect. Let me just
I'm
scroll a bit.
scrolling the chat. Hang on.
Hayden is asking about Near.
We could cover near for sure. Yeah, I will happily like carry this on. I will be making more videos about it because I'm just fucking done with this stuff. But I don't necessarily need to bogart any more of the show time by ranting about stuff I know we all agree on.
I would like to hear Will give his summary thoughts on Near because I loved your video on it, comparing that to other similarly positioned networks. I thought it was really helpful.
Sure. Also, a question there, William. Would you buy Ton today? Yeah, I would. Ton. If you want like a high market cap coin that's going to be a high conviction play, yeah. Near Protocol. Near Protocol is a blockchain ecosystem that is doing well and also not well. Hang on, let me explain. Near Protocol does a fantastic job at getting users to actually use the decentralized applications on Near to crazy levels, like absolutely massive levels of actual daily user counts on their like top 5 dApps. It's so large that the top 5 dApps would be the top 5 dApps on Solana if they moved over. They would be beating Jupiter. They'd be beating everything in daily active users. The issue with which is great for Near. The issue with Near as an investment and investing in those altcoins is that Near's DeFi ecosystem is none of those decentralized applications. DeFi ecosystem on Near is super small for how many users that they have using those other non-DeFi focused dApps. The reason why that's an issue as an investor is that DeFi ecosystems generate liquidity. And if they generate liquidity within a system, that money grows and it goes into Near, and it goes into altcoins within Near. That's one of the reasons why Solana's done so well. Their DeFi ecosystem has always been strong, and then meme coins grew on top of that, and then you had an exponential growth of liquidity on chain, fed into Solana, fed into the Solana memes, fed into Jupiter, fed into Radium, all that stuff. Near Protocol is really lacking on that front. So from a blockchain standpoint, they're very successful. Very successful. But from an investor standpoint, they're missing a key thing that generates liquidity that helps to make the price go up. And so that's why I say Near Protocol is doing amazing, but also,
We need more proof in the pudding.
yeah, we need more money, you know? The bucket, the size of the bucket of money within Near just is small. And that could change. That could change. They just need a DeFi ecosystem and somehow try to get users on their other non-DeFi apps to then go use those. And then that's a quick fix. But they have not been successful at that lately. Or lately, I mean, like, for as long as Near has been around.
And just generally speaking, because someone asked price prediction, if you want to get a good price prediction for any token, but specifically a network like Near, I think the easiest thing to do would be to go to a site like DeFi Llama, a site like CoinGecko even, and just do a cursory look at its competitors based on how much money do they have in their pot, how much activity do they have, what seems like a reasonable amount for Near to reach based on a company whose token price and market cap reflect its actual worth, a more established network. Ethereum would not be a bad one. Or another layer 2 on Ethereum that, that has users and traction. Would you guys agree? And if you have a specific price prediction for it, feel free to give it, but you know how I feel about it. I don't.
I don't have any price predictions for Near. I'm sure the price will go up as altcoins go up from where it is now, but like, I imagine it'll get outperformed by a lot of other coins, or at least like maybe, I don't know, it could be just like a mid-performing kind of top 100 coin. It's just kind of like my thought process on it.
Excellently said.
Yeah, I'm not bearish on it. I'm not bullish on it though. So that's like, I'm like right in the middle.
Waiting to see more. Yeah. And I think it's worth repeating what you said earlier about old altcoins versus new altcoins. Near has been around for a while. So there's a higher burden for it to do. You got to poke that bear a little harder because it needs to do more to have the same kind of returns or create the same kind of boom and attention from speculators that something like Blast does. You know what I mean? Blast, wow, there might be an airdrop. It's super new. I'm early is way more exciting than Near or Algorand or ICP or Cardano or Polygon, whatever, which has been here. And everyone says, well, what did they do last time? And there are a lot of people holding bags waiting for it to return to all-time highs who aren't going to sell. And when it does, they're going to sell immediately. Like,
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
if you're new, don't be sad you missed those.
Yeah.
You guys, I gotta hop off. I have a meeting in 15 minutes. Sad. No, I'm just bipolar. Let's see. Final thoughts and opinions. I want to talk to Jesse to see why we can't get better swap features in Coinbase wallet. But no. I don't know, guys. There's a good chance that we've hit our bottom, but just because we got really good data from the CPI report today, don't expect like a mega god candle. Like we're not getting that right now. All we need is to close above the 200-day exponential moving average, which price-wise is at $58,183.
By the
That's
way, just in line with what Will is saying, if you're hearing Will use terms like moving average and all of this kind of stuff, I texted Kagan last night and just told him I need him back on the show at some point. So Will, I definitely want to have that be a day when you can be with us. I don't know if you know Kagan, Magic Internet Money, but as far as TA goes, he's as good as it gets. He is straight up the best. And he's a good friend of mine. We'll get him back on. He said he'd happily join, so I'm working on a day. Will, I'll let you know. He might just kind of pop in one day because it's a little early for him. He's in a different time zone, and he's got kid stuff and whatever. But yeah, if you are not familiar with Magic Internet Money, that's his handle. He's mostly on Twitter these days. I think he's pretty much left TikTok. He's on YouTube and Twitter, but really, really good dude. Anyway, keep your TA questions. We will go through some more specifics about like.
See a pixelated wizard.
Obviously.
If you show me is it like maybe? No. Hold on.
That looks like a phallus.
Could be.
Uh,
I hope not, man. I've already got 2 violations today.
I'll put his handle down here in the chat. Just a second. Anyway, sorry, Will. Continue. I didn't mean to rug you.
No, it's fine. I mean, pretty much said like don't expect like a mega god candle. A lot of people are going to be really upset that there's not a god candle because we beat inflation data. We don't need a god candle right now, and also Germany's still selling, and we just need to get above this resistance that is just like sitting right at where price action is right now. So we need slow continued growth. Because a lot of people are still nervous, just sitting on the sidelines as they will. They'll buy in at higher levels. We need to just like slowly work through some resistance lines, and once we do that, then some more people will start getting excited, and you'll start seeing some bigger growth. So like, just be patient. We're getting good news across the board. We've gotten 2 really good inflation reports in the past like 2 weeks on different inflation data. Really good for the market. A lot of optimism coming in. So yeah, just be patient, guys. Things happen slowly, and then they happen fast all of a sudden. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Will. Before Will gets out of here, make sure you give him a follow so that you know it's his only profile. He's never going to message you. He's going to be back. We're all going to be back Monday. Well, he'll be here. He's prolific. Thank you for making the show so much better, brother, and so much better looking.
Thanks,
Always.
guys. Thanks for having me in here. It's always a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.
Bye. Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
I know.
Now, if you're tuning in because of Will and you're like, time to dip, these guys, whatever, listen, hey, don't leave
You're right.
before you do me a favor. Join the Discord community if you haven't already. It's totally free to jump in there. It is the best place, honestly, truly, to have a more extended back and forth conversation with me, with Alex, with Will. We are there all the time, and we're about to hop over there to continue the stream for a few more minutes on the event stage so that you can have a richer experience with us. It sucks typing your comments in the chat. You know what I'm talking about. It sucks. It sucks learning crypto this way. That's why we have the Discord. It's free to come in there, ask us a question. And I got to tell you, we are also launching live classes. A lot of people ask us if we teach courses, if we have resources to help you learn. And most of the resources we have are yours totally for free. But we want to offer a seminar, like a sit-down conversation around a topic that people keep asking us about. This is our solution for that. Our first class launches tomorrow. You can go to the Rise Up Morning Show and register for this class. And the real alpha is the class is $49 for a 2-hour seminar with Q&A. You get the recording, you get all our notes, but that might be prohibitive for some people. So you can also buy just the recording. It's cheaper that way, starts at $15. Or the real alpha is if you go to theriseupmorningshow.com and sign up for a free Patreon trial, you can become a member, get all the benefits of membership. And one of those benefits is the course becomes $19. The recording becomes $6. If that's still prohibitive to you, then just do that, get on, then cancel the membership. Like, we're not going to be mad because you scammed the trial to get it like that. That's just the way we set up the infrastructure, that it's easy for us, but we want it to be easy and accessible for you. Supporting us that way is the fastest way to accelerate your learning journey in our group, our ecosystem, because you're going to get, time with us dedicated to you and your problems. But it also helps us scale the stuff we're able to do for free. So sign up, riseupmorningshow.com. Next week's course is going to be how to avoid the most common scams in crypto. We're going to have courses on the meme coin casino, like how you can get better at not losing money when you're there, finding cool tools to use, stuff like that, how to DeFi. We want to do one on Web3 101, like the very, very basics. None of this early moving average dollar cost, none of that jargony stuff. It's all available at theriseupmorningshow.com. So leave us your last thoughts, your good jokes, your words of wisdom. Alex and I are going to give our last thoughts so that you can have a second to follow us there, find us there. And then we'll take our dog and pony show over into the Discord and we'll open the event stage to continue the end of the show there so that we can have conversations. You can ask us your question. Alex, what are your final thoughts? Your good jokes, your words of wisdom. Did I miss anything in the commercial? I'm always trying to make it shorter, but we always keep adding stuff to it.
I know. No, I certainly don't need to add anything to the commercial. Just as always, I super appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with us. As was said on stage by Mike Shinoda at the Linkin Park concert that was then the subject of a live album, you could be, I think also Jay-Z said this. I don't know who originally said this. Someone help me out. I'm sure it wasn't these guys originally, but you could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to sit here with me and Evan and Will, and that is wild. And we super appreciate you guys for making that decision to be here. And the Discord is a really good spot to be. I highly recommend, if you have no interest in paying for anything, you absolutely don't have to. The general chat is free, and literally all you need as like a good sounding board is that free general chat. If you have something in crypto that you encounter, you're like, this is like too good to be true. This is kind of weird. I've never seen this before. Just throw the comment in there. We are in there, and there's tons of other people who are in there who might have had an experience that is beneficial. I have seen people prevent themselves from getting scammed just by speaking up in the general chat and being like, hey, is this sus?
And I have seen people get scammed because they didn't speak up. There are people who have lost literally thousands of dollars because they didn't ask a question that Alex or I or even one of our friends in the community could have answered in 10 seconds. Like seriously true.
And you don't need to pay anything to like ask the question. No one's going to be like, it's like when you call the emergency vet and they're like, okay, we've heard your complaint. Now please send your credit card information. We'll tell you how to save your dog's life. Just ask the question like we're in there. And yeah, the other last disclaimer, just to echo Brad here, no one legitimate will ever send you a request on any platform, any email, any DM, any voice message, nothing asking you for specific and personal information about your crypto, about your wallets, about your seed phrases, about anything. Evan and I will never reach out to you and ask you for any of that kind of stuff. If anyone does, it is absolutely a scam, and just ignore it. If someone reaches out to you like that, just ignore it. If I or Evan ever needs to DM anyone for any reason, we will first tag you in the general chat in public so everyone can see it. You can show that it's us, and then we will ask you to reach out to us. Just because we have too many impersonators and there's too many scams. If you're looking for the Discord invite link, there's one in both of our bios, but sometimes TikTok kneecaps us and they don't work for some reason. They work for some people and they don't work for others. So you can always go to theriseupmorningshow.com and there's a Discord invite link on that usually works. I've never heard that one not work.
Yeah. And if you're struggling to use Discord, the next YouTube video we plan to release is a tutorial. that is there are a lot of good resources on their website, but like we get it. We want to walk you through our specific community, especially if you've never used that platform before. We know a lot of people are coming from Facebook. They're new to this stuff, so don't fret, don't sweat, it's coming. I as my sort of last thought, I don't mean to rug you, Alex. I waited till you're done talking, but I just wanted to show you my beautiful sleeping dogs.
Look at them.
There's Ricky and Lucy just snoozing. Ricky is like, oh, you want to talk about me?
Evan, those are wonderful little creatures, but rookie numbers, my guy. You got to come out here and see me, and I got to get you some more chihuahuas.
Listen, man, Lucy, you see that side eye Lucy's giving you? She's like,
I know Lucy heard me say more chihuahuas, and she's
if
like,
you put another dog in my house, yeah, she's already thrilled that Ricky is here. So.
But no, I'm stoked to move this over. To echo one last comment there from Brad. I totally recognize that Discord is not the most user-friendly platform. So if you have any issues with Discord, you can leave me a comment on any one of my videos, or you can email me. Don't DM me on TikTok. I keep trying to tell people, like, my TikTok DMs are a nightmare, and the way they get sorted by TikTok is really hard to navigate, and I have hundreds of unread ones, and they just get lost. So send an email or just leave a comment. And I'll do a TikTok video that's just like a quick intro to, how to use Discord really quick.
Frankly, it's sorted the way they get sorted.
Anyway, Evan just got taken over by an AI.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll move over there. Just thanks for everyone for being here. If you okay, real quick, sorry.
Go ahead.
Discord is kind of like a really organized group chat. So it's just a messaging platform that communities can gather, and you can kind of separate channels of chat into like things that are relevant. So rather than just having like one group chat where we all just talk about everything, you can have one channel to like talk about scams, and another channel to talk about, funny memes, and another channel to talk about how to stake or whatever. So yeah, Evan's showing here. It's both a mobile app, and that there's also a desktop app, and there's also a website. Lots of different ways.
A table of contents on the left.
Yeah.
You can see all your different channels here. This one is ours. You can see all the different conversations are organized into channels. These are the scam alerts. This is some Discord help. Here's the general chat that Alex is talking about. And here's kind of an example of what it looks like. You can see every user, like our friend Rick, who's here in the chat. He posted the consumer price index link. And I posted a little TLDR about it. You can see everybody who's joining. You can sort these conversations into little threads. And we have some channels that are like forums that look a lot more like your Facebook feed, like a post on your feed where you can see like one person's post and then the comments are in a little box underneath it. And they've got a voice chat and an event stage where we do this, but you also get to raise your hand and come up on the stage with us. The thing about TikTok is you got to have 1,000 followers, and not everybody's a content creator. So we want you, if you have a question, instead of like trying to type it in 100 characters or less, to be able to come up and just say, hey, new user here, just got my ledger. This is the error I'm seeing, whatever. It'll be a way better experience for us to talk there, The website for the link is Discord. You can tap my profile or Alex's, and we both have a link in our bio to it there. Sometimes those links don't work, so you can also try to find it at theRiseUpMorningShow.com. And all of our free resources, all of our courses, our coaching, everything related to the show is there at theRiseUpMorningShow.com. We have a lot of free resources for you. The show is like a big part of it, but not everyone has time for a live show every week. So we got a weekly newsletter with the tips and tricks we share. We got a YouTube channel where all the streams go, where we put long form tutorials. And we've got the Discord community where you can come and hang out and, get to know us. Post your link, ask a question. It's called the Rise Up Show for a reason, because that's how we rise up together.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Well said. Well
Thank
met.
you.
I will see all you guys over there. If you are having any trouble accessing the Discord link, send me a DM, and I will sit down after this and dig through my DMs to make sure that I find the one you sent me and get you an answer. Just start the message to me off with "need Discord," so that I can like preview it in my giant list of DMs. So I'll see the word Discord and I'll know you're looking for an invite. So just send me a DM that just says Discord in it, and I will send you your own invite while we work on figuring out why TikTok keeps rugging the ones in our bios.
Excellent. Well said. And if you're not going to join us in the Discord, that's okay too. We're going to be back on Monday. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have the next set of episodes uploaded next week. We so appreciate you. Leave us your comments, leave us your questions. Be safe, have fun, don't buy Ponzi schemes, and until next time, my friends, rise up. Thank you, guys.